rainy Panama City as Plaza Amador and Portmore United getting ready for the second leg of this tie at the Rommel Fernandez, as the sounds of Ruben Blades as well as Mark Anthony pleasing the fans, but will it be enough as their side, Plaza Amador, down 1-0 after the first leg, looking to turn things around. A very stingy, a very aggressive, and a very interesting lineup that will be put out there for none other than Linville Dixon, as he and his side looking to advance to the next round, looking for what could be a very difficult encounter, especially because of the conditions that will be part of it. As far as it's concerned, it'll be a major factor. That'll be one of the things that we start looking at. A field also that has been under a great deal of criticism, the pitch here at the Rommel Fernandez, for two reasons. Of course, the maintenance of the field. Many in the press have been looking at it, and something to keep note of, there apparently was a fungus that affected that particular pitch. You're going to see certain streaks, and that's one of the causes. At least that's what the official crew that's taken care of the pitch has been saying to the Panamanian press. You see right there, and that could be a factor, especially if the pitch starts getting a little bit waterlogged. We'll see certain areas that become a little bit patchier, a little bit more overwhelmed by the conditions tonight. As we'll wait to see how long this rain will persist, as it was part of the forecast throughout the day, and of course that will not change. The stadium, of course, being switched over venues because of the Panamanian League going on at the Maracanã, looking at a bigger venue, looking at a much greater venue for an international competition. That's another reason why this match was shifted over. About 15-20 minute drive from the Maracanã over to the Rommel Fernandez. And you see right there the bench getting ready. There's been a lot of uncertainty, at least from the international sector, for Plaza Amador. Domestically, it's been another story. They've been one of the two teams that have been amongst the most dominant. They've been able to go on the road, and last weekend they played at home, played Santa Gema, won 1-0. So it's a team that has a good mix of youth and experience that will come into this encounter looking to revert a bit of adversity that they face. Portmore United, in the meantime, and you'll see in the lineups only a couple of changes that were made in this starting 11 compared to the starting 11 that were fielded just about a week ago, exactly a week ago, I may say. Both sides looking at this match as one of the things that could really help them take off domestically, and also looking at other options as far as being able to acquire maybe a couple of players here and there, as they both will have to contend with playing on two fronts. Of course, playing the league and playing this 2017 Scotiabank Concacaf League, as we start whittling down this week. The quarterfinals will begin next week, as 16 will become 8, and we wait for who will be the next representative in the quarterfinals, as both teams getting ready to come out. So we're ready to go here as Plaza Amador and Portmore United getting ready to face off here at the Estadio Rommel Fernandez in Panama City. Let's look at the starting lineups in just a moment. We're going to see Eric Hughes in goal. Mendoza getting the start as we start seeing what the starting 11 look like. We start seeing no Humberto Gomez. You also start seeing the inclusion of Alexis King into the starting lineup. Valentin Pimentel will also be in the attacking front. So you see a more attack-oriented Plaza Amador as Jair Palacios, well, he's already played his hand. He knows exactly what he needs to do, as do Portmore United, as they want to get out of here with a result. Obviously, winning would be very nice for them as well, as they too have a couple of changes, especially in their back line. It'll be interesting to see how they field as well, as you see both squads getting ready, of course, just waiting for the captains and waiting for everything else to finish off. As Portmore United, both Ricketts boys, well, at least Asani Ricketts will get the start. No Enrico Ricketts, as you see right there. Juan Gabriel, an all Costa Rican crew. Juan Gabriel Calderon, the referee. Juan Carlos Mora and Osvaldo Luna, the assistants. Ricardo Montero will be in charge of keeping a little bit of civility between the benches. He'll be the fourth referee in this particular match. As I mentioned with Portmore United, you see right there what goes on. And, of course, only Osani Ricketts getting the start. Enrico will be coming off the bench, so that'll be Dermano Solomon getting the start over at left back. Michael Binns, of course, everything pretty much the same for Portmore United from that particular standpoint, as Ian Grandison will be the captain tonight as well. Lynch and Smith up top for Linville Dixon. Of course, the man to be looking at, and he had a major impact in that particular match, as you see right there over at Independence Park. What goes on, you see the subs right there as Enrico Ricketts on the bench. Of course, another player to be looking at on the bench will be Luis Frais, as he did not get the start tonight. He'll be coming off the bench as Marlon Avila got the nod from Jair Palacios. So a rainy Panama City. Let's see how things play out here as we're moments away from kickoff. Ricardo Morris, of course, the difference maker so far in this tie. He scored in the 70th. Actually, he was the assist maker on that one. He assisted Jeremy Lynch in the only goal of the match over in Kingston. We're underway. Plaza Amador in their traditional blue and red. Of course, Portmore United with the white going from left to right. You see good conditions, a very hard pitch here at the Rommel Fernandez. There's a bit of a curve, so that does help as far as the drainage is concerned. We'll see how that plays out if this rain persists the way it did, especially about 20-30 minutes prior to kickoff, as right it goes into the middle. And again, you start to see Marlon Avila become very active. Again, ball movement key for both sides. Dixon trying to swing it out wide. Does so, brings it back down into the middle. It's Amen Ramirez looking for the cross, not being able to handle it on the far side is Avila, and finally Portmore United trying to clear it out, but erroneously doing so. Here's a chance from outside. The shot that gets parried away by Shaven Sean Paul. First attempt, first threat, just about 70 seconds in. Portmore United not being able to find the ball, and now it's a bit more pressure coming from Plaza Amador. Coming from outside is Ramirez. Goes off of the human wall in front of that goal, being defended by Shaven Sean Paul, who's already been called into action early on. And you see how the ball is bouncing. That will be a factor as well as far as how the ball movement will be. But initially, nobody has really said much, as Valentin Pimentel, the Panamanian international, back into the middle, going out wide. Here come Man in blue and red. Aglish Dixon coming back into his central defensive position. He went outside just to be able to cover the spot. Pimentel making himself available as it comes back into the middle, but it goes to Dixon. Dixon and Pimentel looking to drive it through, but not enough space. Erroneously there, being able to volley it down was Osani Ricketts, and that'll be a direct free kick. No, it's not going to be, as quickly played out wide by Shaven Sean Paul. Of course, that ball wasn't intended to be caught by Sean Paul, and again, a lot of interpretation that goes into some of these calls. That's Ramirez, Ahmet, Dixon. Panama with their 4-2-2-2, now with Valentin Pimentel playing out wide. Betancourt to Luis Mendoza getting the start tonight. Out wide on the wing is Marlon Avila. Trying to keep things very wide right now as we get into the 3rd minute of play, 4th minute of play now. And it's Avila going one-on-one, trying to dash right through, trying to break down the defender. Goes into the area. Lots of jerseys being tugged. No call by referee Juan Gabriel Calderon. And immediately we start seeing a bit of controversy. A lot of arms flailing around. So that does really change the perspective that you have. Ramirez operating in the middle. He's the turd. He's the metronome. He's going out wide again, going in the direction of Sergio Ortega, who plays on the right now, moving over to the left. Betancourt to Mendoza. Swinging it into the middle. Not much going on. It'll be recovered once again. As Plaza Amador coming out of the gate, pressuring. Jair Palacios, the Colombian coach, really wanted to do this throughout the encounter. Knew that they had to dictate the pace early on, really put Portmore United on their heels, and have done so. As again, the ball gets taken away. Dangerous situation as Marlon Avila into the middle of the pitch. Ramirez. Portmore United now looking to pressure. Job done, and immediately that's where you start to see the difference. Yes, when the team like Plaza Amador, as you see the replay of the shot here, and a great parry, great control. Right there, being able to just push that ball away. What Portmore United have been able to do is say, okay, fine, we're going to absorb the pressure early on. We're going to look at the opportunities that they want to have. Everything mostly has come out from the wings. We're only 5+ minutes in as it's Ahmet Ramirez out wide for Avila. Looking across it, but goes right into the chest of Damian Binns. Another cross, bouncing around. Slipping and sliding all over the place as the ball, and just knock it away. Carabalí, the Colombian, playing at left back. He and Dixon switching. Avila. Able to dump it into space, but Ahmed Ramirez now playing more in a wider position. As he gets it, goes back to Avila. Again, you see a good bit of possession, but then you don't really match up very well in the middle, and you're sending crosses against a taller, more physical side. Portmore United now with the ball. Roshane Sharp there losing it, and Plaza Amador quickly regaining possession. Binns playing out wide, both Binns boys, Damian as well as Michael. Michael, of course, part of the Jamaican national team, as for a 2nd consecutive year, the Reggae boys were able to get to the Concacaf Gold Cup final. Going down to the United States 2-1 over in Santa Clara. Binns was a very instrumental part, as you see right there, Jair Palacios. Ball sent deep, and now you see a more settled Portmore United. As you see the replay right here. Ben's very willing to give the inside, but then he's willing to give the inside if he has a player marking. Forced a little bit his hand, literally, as Ricardo Morris comes in, but the referee does not call the infraction. And I'll leave it to you guys to decide. Pimentel. And moving it around. Looking to operate down the wings mostly, as you see 6-7 defenders for Portmore United patrolling. Back line of 4 with a line of 3 in front, looking to protect all angles. As soon as the ball comes out, they expand and try and prevent Plaza Amador from coming in. So they do want to force them to go perimeter. Valentin Pimentel. Chance a shot that goes wide. Good attempt there as Sergio Ortega is able to free himself up. Six minutes in, no score, but it's Portmore United with a 1-0 aggregate lead up to now. So right there, and interesting to see the reaction, not from Sergio Ortega, but from Ernesto Sinclair, as the cross never even got to cross. You see right there the indication from Jair Palacio saying, guys, you got to bring the ball down, settle it down. And one clear thing to look at, I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to start noticing this, as it could become a trend. Looking at where the Panamanian players are running at against this Portmore United defense. A couple of times I've seen them look to try and run behind them to try and put that ball over them. Of course, that last attempt by Ortega was a primary example of what they're looking to do. The defense staying back a little bit more and being protected by that midfield. More of a 4-3-3 right now, if you will. And they drop back to defend. It morphs into that position, goes into a 4-4-2 on the attack. Binns is the one that, as soon as the ball, you start to see some of the sod on the pitch start to lose its composure, knocking it away, and it'll be a throw-in, as it was Andre Dice. Say, come on, you got to change your movement a little bit more. Second season for Jair Palacios, has already led this team pretty deep into this tournament. Actually into the Concacaf Champions League when they played last year. We're able to advance out of the group stage. That's the continuing, right there you see Shavar Thomas. And Dixon also on the bench. Taking the pressure out of the back and clearing it out. Didn't want any problems there. Did Andre Dice. See right there, Linville. Shavar Thomas, of course, a former reggae boy himself. Had a pretty prosperous career as a player. So, for the most part, his experience very valuable, and you start to see that come to play with many of the former reggae boys, many former players that have really made their mark within football in Jamaica. Former University of Connecticut player, also Played over with Chivas USA, Philadelphia Union. Of course, once he retired back in 2013 with the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. The foul being called there, as it was Ricardo Morris trying to get away. Trying to keep his balance, but of course, unable to do so eventually, but still a great effort by him to try and keep that play alive. Speaking of trying to keep it alive, right there, Jeremy Lynch, shot from outside. Lynch again. Turning, trying to collect it, does so. Grandison. Of course, Grandison, another part of that Gold Cup side. Now, Grandison had a few minutes. He was a player that was usually on the bench during that tournament. And he only made one particular entrance. Came in the 75th minute against Mexico. I'm talking about the first match that took place over in Mile High Stadium, or Sports Authority Field at Mile High, over in Denver, Colorado. That was a scoreless draw that they had in the group stage. Of course, they met on in the semifinals, and the Reggae Boys came up with a 1-0 victory in Pasadena. Grandison, of course, took part in that first match. He one of two players that had some participation. Michael Binns, of course, came off the bench. He actually started in the match against Curacao and did get some significant minutes for Theodore Whitmore. He's looking for the foul, gets it. Portmore United really settling down and really keeping Plaza Amador very frustrated, and more so not being able to collect the ball properly to do so. I mean, you already see a player warming up for Plaza Amador. Not really seeing who it is right now. And for Portmore United, of course, very few players going to attack, as they would just want to drop back and wait. As Eric Hughes resets. Portmore United just dropped back, seeing where the Panamanians are going to attack from. And immediately the ball telegraphed into the middle by Aglish Dixon. Betancourt. Dixon. As Pimentel going out wide, but instead the ball goes deep once again, easily anticipated. Pimentel finally battling, being able to force the ball to go out or be a throw-in for Plaza Amador. Osani Ricketts patrolling that right side, allowing Dice to be able to come back into the middle. Darmano Solomon, as well as Damian Binns from outside. The shot hits the outside netting. And Portmore United very happy to get that ball back. They're more than happy to allow those shots from outside. There haven't been many dangerous, actually there's only one that shot early on. That was taken from the left side of Shaven Sean Paul and made a tremendous save. But outside of that particular opportunity, not much going on. Here's Valentin Pimentel. Lets it go, and another chance into the area. It's two players tangled up. And one of them, Sergio Ortega, once again coming awfully close. Looked like Alexis King was also in the neighborhood. So, you know, I actually checked that. That's number 16, Ernesto Sinclair, as they both get in each other's way. It was one or the other, but ended up being neither nor. 18 minutes of play here, and Portmore United right now regulating the match, although it's been a more threatening position being taken by Plaza Amador. Paul. Betancourt. Another deep ball, and it's collected, but under these conditions, that's a very difficult ask. As finally it goes out of bounds, and Portmore United will get it back. See how with every passing minute things get a little bit more impatient, or at least the urgency begins to emerge, and you can even say it's beginning to emerge in a very unnecessary manner. Damien Binns being able to advance a few more meters. Paul pressured, but being able to handle that ball very well. Dice. It was very interesting to start hearing a lot of those comments, especially after last night's match between Santos de Guapiles and San Juan Yablote. Some of the players from San Juan Yablote were talking about how one teammate had such a difference with the other. And the recurring theme in those mixed zone interviews, they're like, well, they had a lot more patience on the ball. And that was the big difference. And we haven't seen that difference in this particular match. Obviously, because it's a very different scenario when you're down a goal compared when you're up 4. In the case of Santos de Guapiles, that they were able to regulate the match a little bit better. Plaza Amador are controlling the match from a positioning standpoint, have been more dangerous. Have had the more dangerous opportunities. But at times they seem to lose their head and try and go a little too quick with that long pass when there's room to be able to exploit and see what holes they can create in the middle. Because at times you do see, and you see it based on the positioning, some of the midfielders for Portmore United get a little bit further up, so you don't have as much integrity in that second line of 3 when they start going a 4-3 defensively. That's when you start to see more breakdowns and the possibility of challenging that back line of 4. But what Plaza Amador do, since they don't have numbers in the middle, they're forced to go perimeter, they're forced to go to the wings, and that really starts to complicate them when it comes to generating opportunities. And you see how simple Portmore United are playing. They don't want to complicate themselves. Let's try and go for the simplest possible route. If we have to defend, we'll do it, and that's what they've been able to do, because Plaza, on a consistent basis, have been unable to really create any opportunities of significance. Ortega being marked, but the ball goes right in the direction of Damien Binns. Waiting for that ball to come down, and finally does. It's recovered in the middle by Michael Binns, and off to the races they go. Sharp. And the first touch of a wall on that particular play. That kills it off from Sule Makala. Sharp staying on the wing, looking to help with Ricardo Morris as it helps him as far as the support. So trying to prevent any further penetration. You haven't seen much overlapping from Plaza Amador on the left side. Most of the balls that have come and have been dangerous have been from that right side. Again, playing it out of the back with Ricketts. Careless play there is start to see some problems with Plaza Amador defending, but they're able to recover on the opposite side. Here's a good chance. Ortega trying to serve it in the middle for Ernesto Sinclair. Both Jamaican defenders standing tall, standing strong, and being able to clear that threat. Jeremy Lynch, as minutes progress, he starts to become the lone man up top. Lynch just patrolling the middle, just trying to keep everyone honest as Ricardo Morris scoots back. Valentin Pimentel out wide, it goes to Ahmed Ramirez, now playing on the left side, looking to serve it through. Great save, great positioning by Shaven Sean Paul. That's the avenue where they go. They go to the left, and it's Ahmed Ramirez that now becomes very influential. We saw when he gets involved, when he gets touches, what happens over on the right. The pressure here allows a lot of space in the middle. Portmore United taking their time. That's why Ahmed Ramirez becomes so fundamental. Pimentel is the stopper behind, if you will. Ahmed Ramirez goes on the attack, goes from side to side. When he went to the right, Plaza Amador became effective. Now he moves to the left, and this happens. Second big chance, second big save for Shaven Sean Paul. Collecting it back into the middle was Ian Grandison. And now the break starts as Grandison looking, surveying. Has a man out on the left-hand side, but he gets clipped from behind. That should be a yellow card on Sergio Ortega. Let's see where he comes from. Yeah, maybe, yeah, I can see where he comes from. Just tries to be, comes from the side, doesn't come exactly from behind. And ends up hooking Grandison. Good break, good opportunity here for Portmore United. What a goal it would be if they're able to score this one. Because not only they'd have the aggregate lead, they'd also have the away goals in their favor. Michael Binns. Ooh, hits the Uber sign. Trying to play it first time. Trying to knock it forward or trying to knot it forward. Not being able to do too much, Plaza Amador. Again, the ball has to transit through Ahmed Ramirez for Plaza Amador to have some type of clarity, and that's something that we have not seen. Just very limited from a dimension standpoint, from a dynamic standpoint. You see Ahmed Ramirez being able to win the ball. Now he's dribbling through, trying to get past the second defender. Is able to push the ball. Cross coming in, and Shaven Sean Paul able to roll it with no problem. Back into the middle as it goes to Binns. Trying to play it up top as all alone was Jeremy Lynch. Collected in Plaza Amador. Now with Valentin Pimentel at the controls. Dixon. Carabalí. Mendoza. Haven't seen much projection from him. that back line of four stayed rather intact as Ahmed Ramirez drops it back to Mendoza. Not much going on in that particular sequence to really write home about. There's a good opportunity, and Ramirez once again. Start looking at the theme once more. Who's the one that gets involved in the most dangerous threats for this Plaza Amador side? Well, that man right there, at least for now. He's looking to try and associate as Aguilar's Dixon coming through. Knocking it away is Osani Ricketts. Trying to give indications, Shavar Thomas, and you see the ball being knocked through. Another bit of grass that ends up losing its place on the pitch. Those of you just tuning in, obviously no score as of right now. Here's Ahmed Ramirez, who's partnering up with him. The associations aren't there, so he has to try and play it out, and quickly it goes to Francisco Betancourt. Marvin Avila. Avila bicycling his way forward. Betancourt giving some support, now looking to cross it into the area. Good header and snagged easily there by Shaven Sean Paul. As you start to see more repetitive motions, and Portmore United happy for two reasons. Because Plaza Amador, most of their balls coming from the wings. Plaza not being able to really come through as Portmore United recovering there. And not only that, they've been denied the middle by Portmore United. So a lot of the wing play comes in, and they have matchups that really favor them inside the middle. Save for one opportunity, Portmore United's pretty much won them all. Here's Ahmed Ramirez trying to go and being blocked by Sule Makala. Pimentel, the Panamanian international. It's going to be a tough road for them, as they have, we're talking about the Panamanian national team. They have two crucial matches coming up in September. One over at Estadio Azteca. They'll play Mexico. A wounded Mexico after their Gold Cup exit. They're looking to try and get back to their winning ways, as a foul being called. So a good set piece opportunity coming up for Plaza. Betancourt is running out of room, but then he gets helped out by Michael Bin. Excuse me, on that play it's Sule Makala. Makala right there getting called for the infraction. He watches. Sule has played pretty much throughout his career with Portmore United. Punched away and really imposing himself inside the area. Be a first corner kick of the match coming in the 32nd minute of play. Play has been, it hasn't had a lot of stops. Let's put it that way. And you see, that really favors you a great deal when you have a goalkeeper that's strong and can come out very well, and you have defenders that are tall and can win balls in the air. That helps you out twofold. Looking to go through, but it goes past everyone, literally, and even Roshan Sharp, as he didn't come at it from a good angle. Good job there by Shaven Sean Paul. Again, Plaza Amador, very static, very stationary when they are looking to go forward. United just want to knock that ball. They don't want to try and bring it back in and force a situation where they're going to continue giving extensions or even a second, third, or fourth ball for Plaza Amador to play off of. Knocked away there by Damian Binns. As the Plaza Amador fans that came in, here's a good opportunity, but it goes off the wrong shoulder. Ortega was offside though. Right there. Yeah, right there, offside. Good call by referee Juan Gabriel Calderon. Portmore United just trying to keep that ball up the pitch. And you start to see a very one-dimensional Plaza Amador. They're settling for the crosses. And then when they try and transport the ball, this happens. Good transition play here. Nice move into the middle, but goes right into the path of the big guy, Luis Mendoza. Now a counterattack beginning to brew. Potential. Sinclair gets knocked down, but it's going to be Ahmed Ramirez. Has to race through as he had a man offside at least for a brief second, so he had to rush up the pitch. And Ahmed Ramirez, that's been the story. That's been the lack of creativity, or the lack of moments where he can be more consistent. It's not because of Ahmed Ramirez, it's been because everyone else is kind of in a different frequency that he is. And when Ahmed Ramirez is unable to connect with his teammates, he finds himself lost in an island. Back into the middle is Michael Binns looking to set it into the area. Bit short, but then another recovery by Aglish Dixon. Here's Ahmed Ramirez looking for someone to team up with. 4 men, but able to split through. Here's a good chance. Oh, and that last ball. Oh, unbelievable. Opportunity just wasted by Plaza Amador. All the work that was done in the middle by Ahmed Ramirez, and you can see right there, that could have been a foul. But the referee was giving a bit of advantage. Portmore United still regulating this match, trying to place that ball through, but not enough room to be able to create something like that. Ahmed Ramirez, winning, turning, spinning, getting the advantage, and he had the chance to run through, but the referee is able to, or finally stops play, albeit that the Panamanian midfielder ended up breaking the line and staying on his feet. Didn't call advantage, so it'll be a set piece opportunity coming up. So far, that's, if there's a player to look at as far as man of the match, got to start pretty much end with Plaza Amador with Ahmed Ramirez. Meanwhile, for Portmore United, you'd have to start looking in the direction of Shaven Sean Paul. Gets service into the area as it goes wide of target. Shaven Sean Paul says, oh, my shoe's untied. So he'll take the time to tie his boots. As you're going to see right here, Valentin Pimentel waiting for that ball, but again, just a recurring theme. '38th minute of play. As Shaven Sean Paul not getting into the hearts and minds of fans of Plaza Amador. As a man down, it'll be a foul in favor of the home side and a yellow card being given. First of the match coming at 38 minutes. As Jeremy Lynch goes into the referee's book. We haven't seen many changes in speed and tempo as far as Plaza Amador is concerned. We haven't seen a lot of different runs. It's been mostly Ahmed Ramirez as he gets his pocket picked and now quickly looking to counter. Of course, all for naught as it goes back to Valentin Pimentel. Ramirez waiting and he gets beat to the ball. He got a little too comfortable waiting for that ball. Another foul, no call. As Portmore United now. The man's down and play will be stopped. Andre Dice sees his teammate, and that's Roshane Sharp. So right now, as the ball's being given back to Portmore United, Plaza not being a little lifeless, if you will. It's a team currently getting ready for the beginning of their league. A couple of weeks away before the Jamaican League begins. Of course, Portmore United will always be considered a team that will be fighting for the league title. Them, Tivoli Gardens, Net Gardens, even Montego Bay United will be looked at. Of course, again, a ball coming through, a foul again. Watch out because Lynch already has a yellow card. As I was saying, even Montego Bay United, as they're being coached by a good friend of mine, Rod Underwood. And we get into the final 4 minutes of this first half. If you're a Portmore United fan, you have to be pleased. It hasn't been pretty, but it's been effective. It's beginning to frustrate Jair Palacios' men. And we'll see the options that he has. He does have a bit of a short bench, as he does have Samuel Castañeda on the bench, Humberto Gomez, Ricardo Rodriguez. That'll probably be one of the first options that you start looking at if the attack seems to sputter even more than it has already. Looking to go quick, and again, you start to see what Sergio Ortega does as he goes to the ground, and it'll be a set piece opportunity for Plaza Amador. And look where they get the set pieces in. Look at the sector where most of the free kicks are coming from. Usually around this area, around this range. And Ahmed Ramirez, again, getting ready. 43rd minute of play. This time going short, trying to make some options, trying to get more clarity on the set piece. Another chance, another cross. And yes, another deflection. Five players in the area, ball way too much air under it, so it gets cleared out quickly. But Ahmed Ramirez able to protect it, turns again, wins again, crosses again, and Shavin Jean-Paul, this time a big mistake, and unbelievably the rebound missed. And here is all the praises have been for the Portmore United goalkeeper. This time, infantile schoolboy mistake by Shavin Jean-Paul. Almost skips the goal. Says, here, take it. And Carabalí says, no, take it. Clearest opportunity in quite a while for Plaza Amador. Man down, that's Valentin Pimentel as he taps the ground and play will stop. I remember a couple of minutes ago I said, well, not much action, but the play is continued. Not a lot of stoppages, I should say. And that's really, well, it's been quite the opposite in the past few minutes. As the Panamanian international gets up. I mentioned the match against Mexico. They'll also play here at the Rommel Fernandez against Trinidad and Tobago. For Panama, as you see right there, ooh, got stepped on. As for Panama, that match could mean the difference between them getting that 4th place spot or watching the World Cup from TV, watching it from their homes. Betancourt. Carabalí slugs it down. Here's a good chance. Offside though. As Sinclair drops back and Portmore United trying to move the ball quickly up the pitch. And they continue going up the pitch. And you see right there, leaning offside ever so slightly. As that attack goes for naught. 2 minutes of stoppage time added by Juan Gabriel Calderon. As the rain has stopped. Pitch was able to resist it in certain areas. Continue moving it. That's again Mendoza. Ahmed Ramirez has Mendoza, but squeezes the ball right through, and the give and go went but didn't come back. And Marvin Avila is faded as well as the match has progressed. As we're already halfway through the first minute. There's been a lot of things that Jair Palacios has to look at. Meanwhile, Portmore United looking to, they haven't battled that much. You don't see a lot of aggressive play, but they forced Plaza Amador. They've done what they've looked to do. But this team, and that's been a major problem. We'll talk about that at halftime that we've seen with Panamanian teams, both club and country, that have had those types of complications with teams. Ramirez looking to send it through. It'll be a corner kick. As Amano Solomon sees that ball get in between his legs, but quickly he's able to clear it out. Third corner kick coming up for Plaza Amador. So let's see what Linville Dixon's saying. Hey, watch out with this, watch out with that. Trying to get into the at least the fourth referee is here. Ramirez. Outswinger in the chance, it's hit over. Ernesto Sinclair with the opener right in front. And you start to see the frustration set in. What looked like was going to be an intense first half quickly faded the attacking hopes of Plaza Amador. And Plaza unable to take advantage, as after 45 minutes, we're tied at 0-0.
En Scotiabank, el banco canadiense más internacional, somos aficionados de los aficionados. Scotiabank, orgulloso patrocinador de la Liga de Campeones Concacaf. Noticias, estadísticas del partido y lo más destacado del torneo, visite nuestra página en internet concacaf.com. Sigue todas las acciones de la Liga Concacaf Scotiabank a través de la cuenta oficial de Twitter como @concacaf.
First impressions can only get you so far, and in football, well, they get you even less. And that was exactly what happened to Plaza Amador, whose first impression in this first half seemed like they were going to try and run over Portmore United. But as time went by, there really wasn't much to base that on. Of course, the first chance parried away by Shaven Sean Paul. After that, we really didn't see too much. Of course, this big attempt ends up scattering that bit of fireworks there, kind of got wet with the rain that was coming down in Panama City. But again, another chance, and the player that really made the difference, actually let me correct that, the only player that's made a difference for Plaza Amador is the man at the controls right there. He's been serving from the left, he's been serving from the right. It's his teammates that haven't been able to respond. Ahmed Ramirez has been the control center. He's been that nucleus for this team, the engine, the catalyst, whatever you want to call it. And they haven't been able to respond, the other 10 players. Portmore United playing the game that they wanted to play. The result is in their favor. Why not? Again, the chance, and of course the biggest one after the flurry early on came off of the right foot of Ernesto Sinclair, but went sailing into the stands at the Rommel Fernandez. And that reaction says it all. As you see in the statistics, Plaza's been able to regulate as far as possession's concerned. They've been able to get more shots, but that really hasn't meant much. It's that second statistic, actually the third one if you want to look. It's been shots on goal, and that's where you start to see the true star of this match in Shaven Sean Paul. Second half about to begin here at the Estadio Rommel Fernandez. No score after 45 minutes. And Portmore United looking to hold on to the advantage that they have, as slight as it may be. Waiting for the indication for the beginning of the second half is Juan Gabriel Calderon. Waiting for the indications from the match coordinator. We are underway as Portmore United get to begin this second half with possession, and that quickly goes away. Give you a quick reset as far as the starting lineups. No substitutions. So Shaven Sean Paul in goal. Ricketts, Dice, Solomon Binns in the back. Morris and Michael Binns out wide. Grandison and Sule Makala in the middle. Roshane Sharp and Jeremy Lynch, the starting 11 for Portmore United. For Plaza Amador, Eric Hughes, who has really seen little to no action tonight, in goal. Mendoza, Betancourt, Dixon, and Carabalí in the back. Ortega, Pimentel in the middle. Out wide is Marlon Avila and Amer Ramirez. Sinclair and King. A chance to shot that goes wide from Amer Ramirez, as they look to begin the second half the same way they began the first. Missing by inches, Amet Ramirez. Lots of expectation for this Plaza Amador side, as they really were looking at the possibility of getting deep into this tournament. Of course, that's a byproduct of their success last year in the Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League. There's a good chance. Opportunity coming through, waiting the chance. Oh my goodness. As Alexis King was on the opposite side, Sergio Ortega, more than a shot, it was just a back pass to the goalkeeper. Really looked down and really didn't make a good impression. Of course, also keep in mind that there's no Richard Rodriguez, no Gasper Murillo for Plaza Amador. Of course, Gasper Murillo, the leading goal scorer for Plaza in this tournament. You can see right here, looks up, okay, and then mishits the ball. Easy take, easy save for Shaven Sean Paul. I mean, that's a major issue when you have your two leading goal scorers on the bench. Of course, Murillo, the Colombian, cross. And again, simple live to fight another day. As a throw in from Avila. Of course, Rodriguez, one of the prospects being looked at by Bolillo Gomez for the Panamanian national team. The constant search for Bolillo Gomez to find some offensive firepower, something Panama has been lacking for quite a while, despite having players like Tejada, like Blas Perez. That new crop of players not really fitting the bill. Sean Paul there loses the ball, and able to recover as Mendoza was lurking. Nice play developing here for Portmore United, but that final touch, despite stumbling by Ricardo Morris, not being able to really concert it, really make something happen on that opportunity, and quickly creating it on the counter as a foul being called, and The yellow card being given second of the match. This time it's Michael Binns. That's at 50 minutes. Binns right there. Majority of the time, those types of balls coming in really mean bad news for any defender when they come out and really open themselves up the way they did. Then another ball, moving and swinging. You start to see how they knock it around amongst each other, and then send the deep ball looking for Avila, and won by Portmore United. Looking to slowly build, but trying to be direct at the same time. Good turn here as Makala taking it to the corner. Hughes just able to grab it with no problem whatsoever. Has to send it deep and trying to send it to that final third as quickly as possible. Infraction being called a little bit delayed there, referee Calderon. This time I haven't really seen a free kick being conceded by Portmore United tonight so close. It just shows you where they've been defending or where they look to pressure more and look where to try and keep away Plaza Amador. Of course, there's been some problems with the creation of offense in this encounter. And it's Dixon. Glitch Dixon. Good distance away, but does have the leg to make it happen. Squirts through, and great parry save there. Volleyball type as it started dipping towards the end. Plays it to perfection, Shaven Sean Paul. That's his 4th save of the night. And quickly making himself the star of the match. The young man over from Portmore. Cleared away and looking to break quickly, but anticipating him was Betancourt and trying to keep him there as much as possible. There'll be a goal kick coming up for Portmore United. So one big question mark for Jair Palacios is you know that your team is up against it, yet you put your 2 leading goal scorers on the bench. That'll be one of the criticisms he'll have to endure. As Plaza Amador does have some matches of note in the coming days. And Portmore United looking to attack, and they've been a bit more ambitious than they were throughout the first half. Plaza will play against Sporting San Miguelito during the weekend encounters as a challenge from Ahmed Ramirez, and he goes into the referee's book. First Plaza Amador player to have that distinction, and that's at 55. So 3rd yellow card of the match, first for Plaza Amador. So Plaza play against Sporting San Miguelito on Saturday. As you see right there, 14-on-14. And just to note, Plaza Amador, let's say they do advance next week into next week's round of play. They'll have to change one of their matches. I'll tell you in just a second as soon as this bit of play is coming to its conclusion, which it finally does. And now it's a break on the opposite side, at least looking to brew for Marvin Avila and Plaza Amador. Ahmed Ramirez waiting for the ball, but has to go a bit flat square in the middle. Out wide on the left, that's the place where they have to go, but instead it goes to Marvin Avila as he's being patrolled by Bins. Ramirez back to Avila. Circling the ball as it ricochets past two defenders and cleared out as it goes over in the direction of Lynch. Looking to go through is Betancourt. If Portmore United were a bit more organized coming out of the back, they could take a lot of advantages against a defense that tends to lose its shape very quickly, especially when they're pushing forward. Now, going back to what I was saying about next week for Plaza Amador, they have a midweek encounter against Árabe Unido. So that match, depending on how both sides do in this tournament, of course, Árabe Unido will play tomorrow against Central FC in Panama City. Of course, that'll take place here. Both teams, of course, representing Panama in this particular competition. So Árabe Unido playing Central FC here at the Rommel Fernández. Well, same thing goes for Chorrillo. Of course, Chorrillo currently in Honduras as they play against Honduras Progreso. Substitution getting ready to come on for the Panamanians. Again, it's Avila into the middle. Here's a good chance. No foul. No, that was not a foul. It's very slow going in as Sergio Ortega gets his pocket picked and falls down in the process. Shavin Sean Paul not being able to get to the ball. Here's a good opportunity off his line. The shot that's misdirected. This time it's Ernesto Sinclair. What an opportunity wasted. Good give and go here. But Ortega having quite the challenge to be able to collect that first touch. Ervin Zorrilla coming on. I'll finally get the story out. So Árabe Unido coming off for Plaza. Right there, Alexis King. As he was anonymous throughout the match. Zorrilla makes his appearance. Obviously, that was one of the things that was lacking. That was in the 59th minute. Zorrilla for King.
Damas y caballeros, su atención por favor, sustitución para el equipo del Plaza Amador.
In other words, both teams play midweek. Those matches might have to be rescheduled in order for them to accommodate their international responsibilities. We'll have to see which of those teams that match will have to be accommodated for, if both or one of those teams end up advancing into the next round. Not sure what happened there, and well, we'll have to do it all over again as Portmore United very comfortable with this particular situation. Of course, Árabe Unido would have to play against Chorrillo. They'd have to head to Colón to play against Chorrillo. That'll be on Sunday. Of course, have to wait and see what happens with them against Central FC. See whether they end up playing in Concacaf League or if they end up playing in the domestic league. Same thing goes for Chorrillo as they find themselves in the midst of a tie with Honduras Progreso. Shaven Sean Paul losing his footing, swinging and missing, and commits the foul. Just all types of misfortune as Sean Paul goes into the referee's book 61st minute, and you kind of have to feel bad for him. Comes out, and see right there, he loses his footing, and of course comes in and completely wasn't even close.
Su atención, por favor. Tarjeta amarilla fue mostrada para el jugador con la camiseta número 1,
See right there, just, as soon as he comes through, trying to get through, and got a whole lot of Sinclair there. Opportunity that could probably not be much better right now for Plaza Amador. Bit of an abridged corner kick, if you will. A bit of an angle. Looking for the best possible opportunity. See where it goes. Into the middle, cleared away there by Solomon, still bouncing around, trying to clear it out, but recovered quickly by Plaza Amador. As we get into the 61st minute, Amer Ramirez, that recently entered Zorrilla, sends it out wide. Here's a good opportunity brewing. Not much going on, and it'll be a goal kick. Let's see. Right there, Sinclair showing his disapproval. As the fans there, very faithful, supporting the conditions to come and support their team. Morris sends it through, goes right in front of the goal mouth, goes right in front of the 6, goes right past Eric Hughes, and recovered by Carabalí, who's operating with the ball right now. Essentially, you start to see Plaza Amador, the back line of 3. Good chance, good ball. Zorrilla not being able to get it through, and recovered nicely once again by Damian Binns. Again, we start to see Plaza Amador look to tighten up the screws. Pushing up is Mendoza. Same thing with Betancourt. It's Carabalí as well as number 15, Alglish Dixon, staying back. There's really no attack, and a foul being called, and a set piece opportunity once again for Plaza. Will it come via that direction? Will it come via the set piece? We'll have to see. There's still lots of time, but time slowly becoming an enemy of the Panamanians. Looking to swerve it into the area around the penalty, the 12-yard mark. Coming through the head of the chance, right to Shaven Sean Paul. And just the way that they've been finishing leaves a lot to be desired. Just a lot to really question yourself and start to wonder how this match will be in their favor if the opportunities that are being wasted, like an offside. Nope. Yeah, offside. As again, another chance, and it goes for no header, just off of the thigh. Shaven Sean Paul just very alert. And again, it's been via the cross. First substitution, as it'll be Roshane Sharp coming off. Coming on will be Stephen Williams. That's at 65. So Williams
Damas
comes
y
on,
caballeros, su atención, por favor.
bit of an attacker,
Sustitución en el equipo del Portmore.
player that can
Entró con la
attack a
camiseta
little bit
número
more,
7,
waiting to see if they can
Williams.
go for the
Y
counter
sale
attack.
con la camiseta número 18, Rochan Char.
Shane Sharp comes off. Again coming through, and Plaza, despite the pressure, that last touch, or that second to last touch, really not paying a lot of dividends. So the 26-year-old Stephen Williams coming on. A man from St. Andrew. See another substitution, and will be coming on for Marlon Avila. That's Luis Frais.
Damas y caballeros, su atención, por favor.
67
para el equipo Plaza Amador.
second substitution for Plaza Amador is Frais looking to give some more offensive punch in the midfield. Pass telegraphed to Ramirez. Ramirez holding off, and Frais winning it on the wing. As Marlon Avila really didn't do much. Ooh. The referee has to stop play. Has to be retroactive. Is Frais. You're going to see right here in the replay. I don't think I need to say much. Oh, right there. Take it. Calderon took a little bit of time to make that call, but made it nonetheless. Serving it into the area. The header, the ball that drifts through, but good heads up work by Eric Hughes to keep that ball in play. Sinclair. So now Sinclair is the lone striker up top. To me, that doesn't make sense, although the way Alexis King play, that makes a lot of sense from that perspective as the ball gets cleared away by Solomon. King really, at times you even had to question if he was on the pitch. So that to me is very indicative, but you really don't have anyone else on the pitch. You did have Richard Rodriguez, and that's why I'm kind of surprised that Rodriguez didn't come in as the second substitution. I'm actually surprised that Rodriguez didn't come in as the first substitution. Instead, Zorrilla was able to come in. Another ball coming through, and it's cleared away. Now the break for Portmore United, who look much clearer on the breakouts now. Their transitions may not have a lot of clarity in the sector, but they're able to organize themselves and push the ball out a bit more. Here's a good opportunity, trying to keep it in bounds, fighting and jousting their way through, and finally the foul being called on Jeremy Lynch. As you see the work that's being done by Ricardo Morris, that in part is why he was one of the men of the match in that 1-0 win in the away leg. But for the most part, we've seen a team in Plaza Amador who do not show a great deal of dynamic offensively. Become very repetitive. They've depended on one, maybe two players. It's Valentin Pimentel pushing up a little bit more than he was doing so in the first half. Going out wide as it's in the direction of Frais. Another cross and another recovery in the middle. You start sending crosses, the defense gets very comfortable. They can field the ball very well. They're able to start counterattacks like this. And that in part has been what's facilitated the transition so much for Portmore United. And very box to box at this point as it's Frais looking for Ramirez, instead sends it deep and gives it right back to Portmore. As United now looking to play the ball out of the back. Ricketts. Whoever it is, she sounds very upset. Another cross as Eric Hughes able to bring that ball down with rather comfortable capabilities there as it's again Frais. Zorrilla. And as time progresses, it gets a bit more frustrating, but here's Frais with the interception. Morris grasping, clutching in the cross. It's kind of difficult when you're trying to send the crosses into the area and your reference point or your reference player is a substitution coming on. It'll be Jeremy Lynch coming off, and coming on will be Ronde Smith. So substitution being made by Linville Dixon, of course, by Shavar Thomas. 71st minute. You start to see the intentions for Sharp and Lynch come off, and you bring in those two players like Stephen Williams as well as Ronde Smith. So you're starting right now. You essentially, you start looking at Portmore United's roster, how they're playing this match. The ball recovered in the middle of the pitch. Ball coming through. Here's Valentin Pimentel. He has to recover, drop it back over to Frais. Shaven Sean Paul. Very happy to send that ball as far and deep as possible. As you see right there, the main reference point is just Ronde Smith. He's trying to get a stronger player that can play with his back to goal, that can try and recover the ball and prevent Plaza Amador's. One more substitution will be made. That's Kimo Gale, who will be coming on for Portmore United. That'll be the third and final substitution for them. Ball intercepted in the middle by Betancourt. So it goes to Frais. Zorrilla keeps it in bounds, trying to run at the defender. Here's a good bit of space, squeezes through. It'll be a corner kick coming up for Plaza Amador. 5-4-1 being used as Murillo also getting ready to come on. Jose Murillo right there. Gerson Murillo. Gasper Murillo. Of course, he prefers Gasper. Jairo Gasper Murillo getting ready to come on for Plaza Amador. Zorrilla as he recovers the corner. Frais and Zorrilla trying to hook up on the far side. The header, the save by Shaven Sean Paul, still not out of harm's way. The chance, a shot off the post and in. The equalizer for Plaza Amador, as struggling as they may be. Valentin Pimentel celebrating 1-0 for Plaza Amador. And let's see if the yellow card is given. the Pimentel
Damas y
as
caballeros,
he's
su
celebrating.
atención, por favor, gol para el equipo del Plaza Amador,
That was at 74.
anotado por el jugador con la camiseta número 30, Valentín Pimentel.
See right here is Pimentel waiting for the real. Great save by Shaven Sean Paul, but the defense right there. And Pimentel off of him. You see right here, if he was looked initially like he was offside, that's why there was such hesitation, but clearly not, as he's kept onside by right there Michael Binns. Pimentel has it bounced off of him at 74. So 74 minutes. Valentin Pimentel with his first goal of this Scotiabank Concacaf League. And now, with this result, we head to penalties. "76 minutes now." As a substitution came on already for Portmore United. Michael Binns comes off, and Timo Gale comes on at 75 officially for Portmore United. So we're about, remember, he goes straight into penalties. Obviously that changes should Portmore United score. Of course, obviously in aggregate, they would advance, but the away goal would force Plaza Amador to make the result 3-1 for Plaza Amador to advance. Should it go 2-1 in favor of Plaza, it would be Portmore United that advance, but of course, I'm just talking about right now just suppositional scenarios, of course, within the realm of possibilities at the same time. Here's Ramirez. Ball curled into the sixth and cleared out, but a foul was called prior to that. 77:06 and counting. As we get closer and closer to the end, as Plaza Amador, I don't know about bit and scratch, they've probably thrown all types of darts. Finally one connected. Connected off a rebound as it went off of Michael Binns. And the rebound ends up finding the thigh or the knee of Valentin Pimentel, makes it 1-0. And on the opposite side of the goal, it was the man who at that point was the man of the match, Shaven Sean Paul, was sprawled on the ground. Not much he could do on that particular play. Substitution coming on is still waiting for Murillo to come on. Man down. Sule Makala getting some treatment. As it's become a very heavy pitch. Coming off will be Amit Ramirez, as he's been the spark plug for this team. Just really not being able to go anymore. Coming on there, of course, is Gasper Murillo. Gasper Murillo coming on.
Y entra con la número 20, José Murillo.
Sending it down the line will be a goal kick coming up for Portmore United as we head into the final 10 minutes of this encounter. If this result were to remain, as I've mentioned before, just in case for those of you just tuning in, we will be heading to penalty kicks. And the reason for that is because Portmore United won the first leg 1-0. Goal by Jeremy Lynch. Crossing into the area, skips right across. Now it's Portmore United trying to get more aggressive. It's Williams on the foul. Another clearance there, this time by Andre Dice. 8:43 and counting. Who will be able to get the next goal? Because at this point, next goal basically wins. Sean Paul. Morris. Makala. Of course, play stop there as it'll be a reset for Portmore United as they are all out of substitutions. Binns pushing up and Plaza recovering, sending it again as the game starts to lose its shape a little bit based on the desperation of one and the necessity of the other. Both teams looking to try and finish it off within the 90. Frais, brutal tackle there in the middle as Keno Gale goes into the referee's book. That's number 5 on the evening. That's at 82. Just a brutal tackle there to stop the run of play.
Damas y caballeros, su atención por favor. Tarjeta amarilla mostrada para el
Fifth
jugador
yellow card
con la
being
camiseta
shown
número
by
27,
Juan Gabriel Calderón.
Gales, del equipo del Portmore.
As the ball goes back into the area, recovered by Mendoza. Bouncing around, very dangerous place to have that ball hanging out. Goes to Morris. There's a good counterattack brewing as it's Runde Smith. Looking to split the defense, but of course how much punishment this pitch is taken. Start to wonder if those passes are going to be the best option right now as Frais lets that ball go through and it'll be a throw-in for Plaza Amador. Final 7+ minutes. Also consider how much stoppage time will be added by Juan Gabriel Calderón. Another chance that just rolls out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for Plaza Amador. This time an in-swinger. What's it going to be? No, it's going to look like an out-swinger now. That'll be the case. As we get into the final 6 minutes. Going first post, but doesn't get there, cleared away, and Plaza Amador will have to set up once again. And again, tomorrow, it'll be interesting to see how this pitch is worked on after the rain. Of course, we've already told you about the conditions, and you see the conditions here at the Rommel Fernandez, how this pitch will be in condition for the match between Árabe Unido and Central FC. As there will be a lot of work being done late into the night today and maybe into tomorrow to have this pitch. As a foul being called there again. It'll be on Zorrilla. 85-06 and counting, and not much that Árabe Unido has been able to do offensively since the equalizer. Set piece opportunity coming up here for Portmore United. Service into the area, but it goes right to the hands of Eric Hughes, who looks to break out, but at this stage of the match, you start to see the heavy legs begin to emerge. That'll be interesting to see how the penalty kicks will play out. Should it get to that point, obviously I'm not saying it will. There's still a possibility. Zorrilla sits his defender down. Zorrilla looking to take one more stab at him, one more try. Jean-Paul. Both teams looking to get that goal, and was draped all over him was Sergio Ortega, who struggled tonight. Plaza Amador conceding another free kick opportunity. And that's been the problem with Portmore United. Yeah, they've been able to transition very well, but then as soon as they get to a certain sector in the pitch, they need to have at least one or two players that they can connect with. They haven't been able to find that. And that's what's been able to leave them a little bit more vulnerable in this sector of the pitch. Just trying to slam it through. And Jair Palacios way out of his technical area, and Coach Calderon, the referee, Juan Gabriel Calderon, saying, come on, let's hurry up with the throw-in. As we get into the 88th minute. Portmore United again losing the ball, but foul was committed in the process. And you see a lot of tired legs, especially with Portmore United. They've done a lot of running. They've done a lot of defending. You can see it there with Ricardo Morris, who's been running all over the place. And set piece coming up. Calderon saying, on my whistle. Don't try and go quickly. Don't try and go before I tell you. Message was well understood. Set piece coming up. Good opportunity coming up with Portmore United inside the area. Can Grandison be able to put it in? 7 players up top. Top of the 18 gets cleared. Still not in harm's way as Portmore United looking at a chance. The shot to save by Eric Hughes. As he's able to grab it, prevent the rebound, sending it deep. Looking for Zorrilla, but not much going on. There's a foul now committed. Again, another silly mistake by Plaza Amador. Grandison. Morris able to break down a defender. Straight up in the air. Hughes punches it away. I'm not sure that was the best decision. Losing his head a little bit there was Stephen Williams, as he got shoved from behind, understandably, but the time and place wasn't really necessary for that. Another chance, another shot that hits the outside. And There'll be a goal kick coming up for Plaza Amador. Final 30 seconds plus before stoppage time comes into effect. About 3-4 minutes will be, or should be added, I should say, by Juan Gabriel Calderon. Only one offside tonight. So between that and the amount of time the ball's been in play, not a lot of work for both assistants, Juan Carlos Mora as well as Osvaldo Luna. 3 minutes of stoppage time. So have 3 more minutes to find out if one of these two teams will advance to the next round. See the foul that was called. So play will continue. Waiting to see what happens here as Calderon runs towards the corner flag on the far side of the goal that's being defended by Portmore United. As Plaza looking to play, and all of a sudden a foul, another silly foul by Plaza Amador. Again, this is another problem that you see a lot with Panamanian teams. In moments that get very heated, they lose their heads, and you start to really question how they're able to do so in certain situations. Of course, the winner of this tie ends up playing against the winner of the tie between Belmopan Bandits and Walter Ferretti. That currently favoring the Nicaraguans 4-1. So we'll wait and see what happens when those two teams square off. Of course, they'll be facing off tomorrow as Walter Ferretti heads over to Belmopan. And the return leg, as we're in the final minute of the 3 that were added on by the referee. We'll see if Portmore has one more opportunity. They do, but goes wide as Hughes just sprawls on the ground and just wants to make sure, absolutely sure, that that ball doesn't skip or hop in the wrong direction. So this match really, Plaza Amador did the bare minimum. Their mission was accomplished, of course, was to get that goal and not prevent any. Although there's still a few seconds left, anything could happen at this stage. But if you look at it based on what's going on now, well, their mission has been accomplished. And we are going to penalty kicks. So 1-0 goal by Valentin Pimentel. And we will be heading to penalty kicks shortly. As Gabriel Calderon, right there. Juan Gabriel Calderon, the referee tonight, really was not tested. But we'll see what happens in this particular matchup as we start to see, of course, both sides getting together and really waiting to find out who is going to take the penalty kicks, who is going to watch, and who's just going to give their support. Obviously, in this competition, it's 1-1. Both teams will alternate opportunities, not based on the new or the latest ruling or the latest model of penalty kick shootouts that have been implemented, that BBAA type of penalty kick system that's been used. It's the more, it is actually the traditional style, the 1-and-1. So we'll see what happens after the 5 rounds. So for all the teams getting the rest, looking to see what they need to do. And that'll be an interesting setup as far as who ends up taking these penalty kicks. That's what's most intriguing. Of course, this scenario was already in mind. At this point, it's all about trying to enjoy the moment. Easy for me to say, right? It's looking to just, you've gotten this far, you made the effort. There's just a couple more steps to take, and we'll see what occurs in this round of penalty kicks. Just have to find out who's going to go first, who's going to go shoot first, as far as not just the team, but also the players. As that really dictates a great deal what can be done. They're deciding right now who's taking the, and what the order is going to be of penalty kick takers. Remember, this pitch, soggy. Mind you, it usually is a hard surface, this one at the Rommel Fernandez, but of course, as it gets soggy and you start to have a heavier pitch, the legs start to go much quicker. Will it be a factor when you take penalty kick? Maybe. It depends on who you're looking at. It depends who ends up going, and it also depends on who's sharper mentally. So there's a lot of factors that come into play when you start looking at these penalty kicks and who ends up going and stepping up, and the context behind each penalty kick that is taken, as the refereeing crew waiting for captains, waiting for opportunities. Of course, both teams just making sure that they're in the right place mentally. Second penalty kick shootout that will take place in this tournament. Of course, last night, Aguila was able to advance in penalty kicks as they were able to get past Real Esteli. Also, Alianza is the third team that has advanced. Of course, now Mendoza, the captain. He's the captain as well as Ian Granderson, but Granderson, of course, played the entire 90 minutes. So we go first. Who goes? We'll find out. Okay. So we're ready to go. We're going to go on your screen to your left, just to give you a reference. As the stadium here goes from a goal perspective, it goes from east to west. So we get ready for penalty kick shootouts once again here in this 2017 Scotiabank Concacaf League. Who will be the first one taking penalties? We'll find out in just a second. Portmore United just getting together, and it'll be Plaza Amador doing the same. They already did their thing. Just waiting to see who's the first penalty kick taker. There's the final bit of pre-penalty kick protocol. Trying to say, hey, look, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't jump off your line, you can't, the usual. Don't hit below the belt, all that good stuff. So Eric Hughes will go first. He wants to be the, so it'll be coming on to kick, it'll be Rondé Smith. Actually, check that, number 17, Ian Grandison. Hughes making noise, trying to get into Grandison's head. Right-footed kicker, setting up, could go to his right. Will he do so? Or will he switch posts on Eric Hughes? Leaning more towards his left. Poorly taken penalty. Great save by Eric Hughes. A lot of indecision. And Plaza at least get the first chance to hold. Right there, the hesitation really gave it away. Took away a lot of the momentum and a lot of the angle in which he could really take a good penalty kick. And it was read very well there by Eric Hughes. Now it's time for Shaven Sean Paul. As Plaza wants to open up the scoring. It'll be Sinclair, who missed an opportunity earlier in the match. Will he be able to redeem himself here? Shaven Sean Paul looking as probably go to his right. Will he switch it as well? Looking a little bit too straight, but with power, putting it through. Great execution on the penalty kick for Ernesto Sinclair. Plaza Amador up 1-0 after the first round of penalties. See right there where he places it. Great jump there by Shaven Sean Paul. Able to slap it, but still the power behind it, the pace and the positioning of that ball, where he put it mid-height. Very tough to stop. Now, coming up next for Portmore United, it's Damian Binns coming from straight up on the ball as he's clapping. See a lot of the distraction, looking away from goal. Left-footed shots, very well placed. Roofs it, and we're tied at 1. Nothing that could be done there by Eric Hughes. Look where he places it. Left-footed shot, opens himself up. Again, it's all about location and height. Beautiful, beautiful penalty. Plaza looking to maintain their lead here with this second penalty kick. Let's see if Shaven Sean Paul can make something happen. Is, of course, the recently entered Gasper Murillo. Jose Gasper Murillo. That's a dangerous proposition, running straight on from so far away. Real long run here by Murillo. Left-footed shot coming up. Well placed. Good work there by Murillo. 2-1 after round number 2. Thought he was gonna drive it through, but right there, as soon as he opens his hips, sends it over to his left. Nestles it into the back of the net. Now, next penalty kick taker, Stephen Williams. As Hughes will go through his routine, clapping, making noise, trying to get the attention of the penalty kick taker. Williams straight on. Look to power it. Not be surprised if he takes it down the middle or goes down the right. And he does the latter. Level at 2. Now, it's time for Shaven Sean Paul to see if he can say something about it. Very good. I mean, keep it up high. Nothing that Hughes can do, especially if he's diving. Shaven Sean Paul's turn to step up. Or will it be 3-2 in favor of Plaza Amador? Alglish Dixon. As the left-footed defender gets ready to take his chance. Very slow, or very short, excuse me, run. Looking to try and go to his left. Drives a very pacey shot, low driving shot, and so far, give a lot of credit to Shaven Sean Paul. He's guessed very well. Just the penalty kicks have been taken much better. There's not much that he can do. He already guessed that he took a good jump, but it wasn't a good enough jump. And it was a very good, well-taken penalty kick. 3-2 after 3. Crucial penalty coming up here as it's Andre Dice. Hughes. As it's Dice, who stops halfway through, and he read the goalkeeper very well. And we're level at 3. Time for Plaza Amador. See right there, he saw him leaning as soon as he shifted his hips. It was all over. Valentin Pimentel, the goal scorer tonight. Could put Plaza Amador just one penalty kick away. He tends to drive the ball right down the middle when he takes his penalty kicks. We'll see if he repeats the feat. Four 3 after 4, and this is a they all are. Don't have a doubt, just straight down the middle for Valentin Pimentel. Ricardo Morris looking to extend this. Looking to put the onus on Plaza Amador. Eric Hughes looking to be the hero. Moving around a bit more as the exchange of looks prior to this free kick for all the marbles. Well placed, and well, now Plaza Amador down to their last penalty. But Eric Hughes has done his job. He's caught standing, but you see a bit of the trash talking that goes on during penalty kicks. That's at times something you do see. So at this stage, it's goalkeeper on goalkeeper. Eric Hughes for all the marbles. Will Hughes get it done, or will it be Shaven Sean Paul? Here we go. And Shaven Sean Paul couldn't get it. Eric Hughes has Plaza Amador advance. Portmore United put everything they could, but in penalty kicks, when it counted, they were dead on. Valentin Pimentel and his goal in the 74th minute helped Plaza Amador get into penalties. Plaza went 5 for 5, and they win it in penalties, 5-4. Plaza Amador now sit back and wait for Belmopan Bandits and Walter Ferretti. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Talk to you later. Talk to you soon. Peace.